Alright, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys are doing great. We got some things to go over today. But as you guys can see by the title of the video, you guys probably understand what's going on here. We're gonna figure out, was it worth it to 3-liter swap this car? Would I do it again? And we're gonna dive a little bit into the cost breakdown to do so. So before we do that, show you guys a little bit more about the bay real quick and just talk about it. Well, it's pretty obvious that you guys could see, and hopefully you've been watching the last couple of videos, but the car is filthy, but it's for a good reason, as we're in the middle of kind of working on it all and well, doing the whole body kit thing here. So that's kind of that. So if you guys haven't tuned in and you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. But if you haven't checked in, go check out the last couple of videos. Go look at those real quick, because this thing's seen a whole crazy transformation. It's been pretty cool. So, but as I just promised, obviously you guys also would have seen from the intro, right? Here's the bay. It's nothing too over the top or crazy at all. It just works. This car started life, 22 years ago now as a 325i. And I bought it a little over 2 years ago now, and it's just, obviously there's not a single stock part left on the car anymore. The only stock thing technically is the get drag transmission, but I blew up the original, so. Well, we lost third and second. No, we just lost second. It's not even stock, so there's literally not one thing on this car that hasn't been changed, touched at this point. You guys have been following along. You've seen it here, documents on the channel. And surprise, surprise, we're not going to have the get drag in there for much longer, but we'll figure that out later. So, kind of just looking right here at the bay, right? It looks pretty simple. We've gotten to delete some things here. There's the windshield washer bottle here from stock, as well as the secondary air pump, so that stuff gets deleted, frees up some space. They're in a catch can here. These cars don't love catch cans, so this honestly just fits the atmosphere right now. It is what it is, it works. Got some coilovers on the car. Those are going to get replaced soon because they're Godspeeds. They're not the best thing in the world, but they've also worked for 2 years. So for the money, can't complain much. But guys, it's a simple M54 for the most part. There's headers down there. We put callus headers on this car. It's got M50 manifold on it, right? And if you just look at it at face value like that, it looks so much easier. So it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you do this swap? But let's dive into it a little bit more and see if it really was worth it. Well, back on the chair. Let's I printed the records for every part I've ever bought for this thing since the day I bought the car. So it goes quite a ways here. There's like 190 rows of things I'm growing by the day. So let's get to the page where we really need to see where the 3 liters picks up here. So let me find that first. Alright, so here we go. Number one, the most important thing when you're 3-liter swapping your 325 or 323, you need a damn 3-liter. Common sense, right? You need the engine to do it. So, I was lucky. I found an engine 15 minutes from my parents' house for $250. Good start. If you could find them for that cheap, good luck, not gonna lie. The reason this one was so cheap at the time was because the guy bought a part out car that wasn't running at the time. He was told that it needed a starter. I took the gamble on a $250 engine. All it needed was a starter, and it came with a starter. So, slapped it on in, more than just slapped it in, but the starter fixed it, so that was cool. From there, you guys wanted to do an entire refresh while this thing's out, right? Yes, there's cheap ways to go about it, but do an entire refresh while it's out because you want to make it work. So, looking at the whole coolant system, I mean, BMW coolant pipe, BMW heater inlet pipe. I don't want to just go run down the list in total here and just rattle off names at you guys, but we'll definitely go through some of it here because there's a lot that I didn't also consider. I mean, just going through all the gaskets, you know, valve cover gasket, thermostat housing gasket, water pump O-rings, oil filter gaskets, oil pan gasket, crank seal, rear, oh yeah, did the rear main seal. Definitely do that while your engine's out. Exhaust manifold gaskets, you know, the gasket list goes on and on and on. The M50 manifold was a fun addition to do, so you know, you guys start looking at all this and you start wanting to prolong the process as to what really it takes. Because could I have technically threw that $250 engine here and been done with it? Basically. But the preventative side of things is kind of covering the cost of what I went through. So we've got all those different gaskets. Jesus. Clutch pilot bearing, your clutch release bearing, clutch pivot fork, oil filter gasket, Jesus, another gasket, oil drain plug, O-rings, you know, the oil, oh my god, can't forget the oil gets expensive. And one of the other things too you guys are going to want to do with your M54s, they're known for the oil pump nut to back off, and when that happens you guys will lose oil pressure, totaling your engine. So while you have it out, buy the M54 oil pump nut. The drilled one that has a chain that comes off of it and you kind of tie it through the sprocket. That's the cheap way about doing it. You can also get the upgraded pump. It's like $500. That 50 manifold, as I mentioned, you know, different hoses from the idle control valve hoses, fuel injection, idle air control valve hose. And one of the other cool things that I bought was the Pullman Auto Sports M50 manifold kit. So that was a different swap kit, came from a guy out in Canada. Small little shop, but it was super cool to support, you know, somebody else who's trying to get in and sustain their hobby by making cool parts. So that was an alternative to the Seems Legit Garage one. This one also came in silver, which I rather had that. So I went with that option to run the M50 manifold. That was $130. I paid $150 for my manifold, so that was also a good deal on these. You know, bought a new MAF, got a clutch for the car, shifter bushings, more exhaust gaskets, you know, so like I said, I don't know how the best way to go about going down this, because it's a hefty long list, and I don't want to just read everything at you guys, so, but it quickly adds up, you know, even O2 sensors, just stupid things like that. I mean, I'll throw a picture of this up on the screen just so you guys can pause it and take a better look at it, but I mean, that kind of alternator was on here. Yeah, alternator and tune. I mean, that's the whole shebang. You know, let me add this up real quick and I'll give you all a total price, I guess, as to this whole thing that we did. Alright, just added that up there real quick. There was a lot of numbers to crunch in. But I mean, if you guys had to take a guess, you know, pause the video, comment it down below, let me know what you think. We literally went through the entire engine, right? We did every single gasket. We replaced a lot of sensors. Hell, we replaced the alternator, right? We converted the car to MS43. Those of you who aren't aware, MS43 was the earlier ECU that is more tunable for this chassis. So we MS43 converted the car. We had to tune it, right? We had to literally do everything. And the grand total, right? $250 on the engine, everything else. $2,507.21. The $250 engine swap turned expensive real quick. Yeah, it always makes it so much worse when you add these things up. It is what it is, right? So obviously it wasn't a $250 engine swap after all, right? It got expensive, and hell, there's definitely a different engine in it. But now, would I do it again? I honestly would not do it again. What I would do and what I would tell you guys to do is just buy a 330 to begin with, right? Don't waste your time on a, oops, sorry, I'm upset the camera. Don't waste your time on a 325 because it's a hassle, right? And that's only the engine I've done. So I've done the brakes on the car now, so it's got 330 brakes. It's got 330 rear suspension because they have different trailing arms, bigger axles. So I upgraded that stuff, right? Upgraded the brakes. Currently going to be doing the transmission. I have one. Technically I have two. Yeah, we'll see. But so it's just a lot of extra work, right? And looking at it on face value, a 330 would have been a cheaper option off the rip. So I would personally tell all you guys out there, it's probably not worth it to do a full refresh. Would it have been worth it if I just slapped the engine in there for the $250? Probably, 100%. Does the car drive a million times better now and make a lot more power? 1,000%. You know, I remember the first time I took this thing on the track with the 3-liter in it now, and not like this car is a rocket ship by any means, but it was like, I can kind of keep up with people now. You know, the car moved. It held its own. It did okay. So having a 3-liter is definitely worth it. I just think doing it a different way than buying a 325 and upgrading it to a 3-liter, that's not the way. I would tell you guys to just buy it off the rip, save up the extra couple of paychecks to do it. These cars are a dime a dozen anyways. It's not the end of the world. And just do that right off the beginning. I think it'll make more sense and you guys will be happier in the long run, potentially. But hey, that's just my 2 cents. You know, you guys might have a different opinion. If you guys weren't going to redo the entire engine like I did, it might make more sense. It just kind of depends where you guys want to take it and go from there. But once again, just an opinion-based video. I wanted to share kind of what it cost me, run through some of the parts list and whatnot, just to give you guys a better insight. Also, because I'm not going to be here next week, and so I won't have time to film. So I wanted to make sure that we got something up for you guys. And this was an idea I had percolating anyways, and I don't know, hopefully you guys found it interesting and insightful. If you did, let me know down below, because I don't know, I feel like I was a little all over the place in this one, but I wanted to try to put something together for you guys if it was, like I said, just to put something together, and hopefully it was beneficial to the community as a whole. So if you guys enjoyed, please let me know down below, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this project's about to get a whole lot rowdier, and we're going to get some color added to it soon. So have a great rest of your week, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.